Hello everybody, Dante here, and I'm about to just turn it over to the Pleiadian Council for our channeling session today. Hope you enjoy it and have a good journey. Hello, and we say good day to all of you this moment of your time. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the whole Galactic Alliance and many other guides supporting this planet Earth in ascension. We thank you, as always, for receiving the message we bring, receiving this energy, as it helps to bridge our worlds, and it also allows us to expand through meeting you. So let us begin in the discussion today. There was a question from a participant who asked about her connection to her Pleiadian guide. She was wondering if this connection is real or if it is simply her imagination. So, addressing this question, and really all of you, yes, your connection is very real. Your connection is true and valid. And you have asked, how can I know if this is true or not? How do I know if it is just my imagination? And here is where so many of you get caught up in expanding into having the experiences you wish to with your guides, the experiences you wish to have with your intuition, and following your intuition in your reality. The truth is, your imagination is actually the window through which you see out into these other planes, into these other dimensions. And you have been falsely taught that your imagination is only something that conjures and creates fantasies that are not themselves real. When the truth is, everything your imagination perceives is very real. And it is a bit of a reorienting to shift your focus and your understanding to know that your imagination is like a lens through which you can peer out into other realities. And here is the fascinating part, and the part that can be tricky, is that if it is really a lens, how many filters do you have coming through the lens? Now, your guides will always translate through these filters and lenses. And this transmission is included in that, and the transmission of any and every channel out there. We exist in our reality, and through fine-tuning your perception, tapping into your imagination, and all of your subconscious and unconscious, you can allow this energy to translate into your reality. Yet, the translator is within your own subconscious and unconscious minds, and there are stored many belief systems. So, some person who has a very strong belief, perhaps they are not fully aware of, that reality must work in a certain way, will bring forth that kind of message and that kind of energy from the guides. Somebody who has been trained to have a very tough and determined approach to life, one that sees many dangers in reality and is very perceptive of them, will bring forth a similar message from the guides. Someone who has deconditioned many belief systems to experience a more light version of reality will bring through that sort of a message from their guides. So, in that sense, some may think, well, isn't all channeling then just someone's own trip, someone's own idea that is expressed through this trance state? And the answer is, well, yes and no. Because as a channel, you learn to tap into many distinct frequencies. And you understand that through focusing upon that frequency and other items, objects, and vibrations, ideas that are in alignment with that frequency, everything in your perception changes. Everything that you receive from your higher self changes when you narrow the focus to one specific group of guides or one specific guide. So, how will you see when your own belief systems are interfering with the channeling process? Well, through experience. You may notice that certain manifestations occur again and again. You may notice that there may be an emotion in the background that never seems to go away. You may be having so many high spiritual experiences, but in your daily life, you may feel this emotion in the background. And it is important to bring yourself to focus upon that as well. Bring yourself to have a complete awareness of everything your emotional and your mental body holds. Because here is where your unconscious and your subconscious can sabotage the message by allowing the filter of such strongly imprinted emotions to affect these higher energies. So, by bringing your awareness into those emotions and the beliefs behind them and clearing them from your field, simply by feeling them without identifying with them, feeling them and realizing that if there is a strong emotional charge that does not feel good, it does not belong to you as who you are here today. It may belong to past versions of yourself, but you are holding it on and carrying it for them. And it may be wise to do some work of reframing your past, doing processes such as the inner child work that allow you to create a new template of your past and allow those old emotions to fall away. There may be also many belief systems that you bring in through societal conditioning, and there are many belief systems that you bring in through spiritual conditioning, both from this life and from other lifetimes. So there are many ways that in past ages, when the energy was darker, people have had to cut themselves off in order to maintain a spiritual experience, such as vows of celibacy, poverty, so on and so forth. And in these times, you can have everything your heart desires and still the full contact with spirit. This was really always the case, yet there were so many conditions in the past that limited and constrained. You are all at your essence spirit, and when you realize the spirit at your essence, all of those belief systems can fade away, and you can realize the true love that is your purest nature. Now, there was another part of this question asking about specific information that the channel, in this case, asked for. And we would say it is important to remember what the purpose of channeling and the purpose of these states of consciousness are. They are not to figure out those details that you could figure out with your physical mind. And many people attempt to prove that channeling or that psychics or mediums are real by asking them information they already know. And this will almost always short-circuit the intuitive channel. For the intuitive channel is not meant to bring you into those specific details of this reality. There's an easier way to find those things out. And energy must follow the path of least resistance. If there is information that you could find through reading a book or through Googling it, you must do it that way. If it is information that pertains to your higher nature and to higher realms, then by all means, use the channeling gift that you have and expand that gift by working with others who are using their own gifts, who have developed their own gifts in some way. Though you also must realize that when you come to attempt to find details out about reality, you open yourself up to a great window of change, because this is not a fixed reality. In fact, in every moment, you shift through billions of parallel realities, and you are never the same person you were before, and neither is the world around you. And so the instant that you observe something, you change that thing. And when you place a layer of expectations upon that which you observe, those expectations also shape it and change it. This is true about your physical reality, and it is all the more true about higher realms. And now there is another thing that may be a stumbling block. When you ask about specific frameworks of where certain beings or energies come from, well, again, beings like the Pleiadian Council and all of the Pleiadian beings in our reality inhabit many different parallel realities. And together we form a collective that is sort of in between all of those parallel realities and can interact with many different parallel realities, though we never come from one fixed place. There are beings that have stronger connections to certain stars in certain periods of time, though if you connect up to the collective energy of the Pleiadians as a whole, you open yourself up to so many different parallel realities. And so you can find most certainly information about where your specific guide comes from and what purpose they have, though the details of those other realities are something that may entertain you, though remember, it is simply something there to show you through synchronicity and through illuminating the joy in your own heart, where the parallels are between our reality and yours. So allow your intuition to be something you play with, and allow yourself, in playing with your intuition and using your imagination as that intuitive window, to understand you are in a shifting framework of reality that is always changing and never the same as it was before. And so the best guidance to seek is guidance of the heart that allows you to maintain a state of joy, of exuberance even, of enthusiasm, of trust in yourself, of remembrance of your divine nature, and of an orientation towards sharing your energy in the world in loving ways. Of course, first loving to yourself, nourishing yourself so that you can give even more, and nourishing to those around you so that that energy can be reflected and expanded and co-created. The more that come together with shared intentions, the more powerful it is. So the more you share those intuitive gifts that are developing in you, even at the earliest phase of the journey, the more you can expand this love and this energy that is flowing into this dimension in powerful ways. So that will do with that question. And we shall continue with another question that is in a way similar. Somebody has asked, how do the Pleiadians see in our world? So that is, of course, a question that will differ depending on the Pleiadian being that you are speaking to. For again, Pleiades refers to a large cluster of stars, and there are many different groups of beings within them. And of course, there is a very large framework of time that this has been an inhabited place, and species have evolved and evolved and evolved. So let's speak specifically about Pleiadian beings at a point of evolution, as you could say, to be this time, 2020, yet in our world, we are at a very high state of evolution. We can experience what you would consider between the 5th to the 9th dimensions. So we are operating at a high 6th density perspective. And in this state, we can shift between a non-physical focus and a physical focus. So we can then inhabit only our spiritual bodies and then condense our form to enter into a quasi-physical reality. And we say quasi-physical because once you go beyond that third dimensional plane, reality becomes much more malleable. And much like you are in a dream, your own will internally is enough to shift your experience and the reality around you. So from that perspective, well, we see physical reality as you see it, though we also see many subtle layers. We perceive instantly the aura of someone. We see the energy that emanates from their being and their body, and it is a display of many colors. And yes, within that spectrum of colors, you could say that there are perhaps some colors that you do not experience in a physical reality. There are some effects, you could say, that you do not experience, and you get glimpses of them as you open up your psychic perceptions and you begin to see auras as you are able. When we shift our focus out of physical reality, we enter into a world of great sort of geometric energies and patterns that vibrate and move. And it is almost as if we see with all of ourselves. Going beyond the physical, the sensory experience is very much different and something that we cannot entirely explain to you in a way that you will fully understand. Though you may certainly get glimpses of this in higher states of consciousness, as you describe them, altered states of consciousness. And so, the last question, what is a trip? What is a psychedelic experience? Well, these experiences are temporary openings of your consciousness into higher dimensions. You maintain your physical experience, though as these compounds enter into your brain and through your body, your spirit begins to open to these other planes. And this is why there is a great experience of beauty, of lightness, of laughter, and confusion as well. Now, the confusion is usually the human mind purging many different programs, many different belief systems from one's internal framework. And of course, this must be done emotionally, and all of these ideas must come to the surface. If you allow these experiences to be ones in which you question your beliefs and you come back fully into your body, into how you feel, into the sensations in your body, and you disidentify with all the chatter of your mind and bring yourself into a pure experience of your essence, many of these belief systems will collapse and disintegrate, and it will not be such a confusing or frightening journey. And hopefully many of you have figured that out. Now, these experiences, when done with intention and focus, can also allow you to meet your guides, can allow you to have a clear vision of where you want to bring your life and experience. They can show you an inner archetypal realm of all of the living archetypes that make up the human experience. There is so much that can be had here. And the key in opening up these realms is in fine-tuning your perception and fine-tuning your focus. Asking yourself clearly and defining clearly what is your intention. Are there hidden layers of intention you aren't conscious of? Make yourself aware of them and make your intention clear to yourself and the universe and those that you enjoy these experiences with. And as you have that experience, bring yourself into your heart space and allow every feeling to emerge from you. Allow yourself to simply observe all of those experiences that you have internally. And if a sort of vision kicks in, make sure you focus upon it. If there is a dreamlike experience that starts to come over you, allow it. For these medicines can allow you to have astral experiences and travel beyond your physical body into higher planes through what some call astral projection or even astral bilocation. So that is a simple introduction, you could say, of many things that could happen with these experiences. Though this is not to say you need an outer catalyst to have experiences of astral travel, of clairvoyance, of psychic experience, of connecting with us. That has never been our message. They can help if it calls to you, though you must realize that these plant teachers are simply what some call permission slips. They give your consciousness the experience to go beyond its normal limits because you understand and believe what it is capable of, and because you use it with intention. And that is a big key in the ingredient. However, once you have expanded your consciousness to those higher dimensions and you know how to get there, it is important to continue doing the work of reaching those states that you have already accessed without the use of any other substance, simply through meditation and simply through your own focus. And when you can maintain the frequency that you have already accessed the previous experience, you can of course use that plant teacher, that permission slip, to go even higher, to go even deeper. Though if you do not listen to the messages you get and you keep taking the teacher, then it will stop being a teacher and it will only be a crutch. The idea is to always bring yourself further, bring yourself higher. And in this process of ascension you are all going through, your earth plane is literally shifting to a higher dimension, to a higher plane. It will not be limited by the same experiences of three-dimensional reality. And in this higher plane, you will be able to reach us. So if you have had experiences with extraterrestrials in dreams or in physical reality, you have already gone beyond the normal plane, you could say, of human consciousness and reached a higher level. And for further experiences to be had, you will reach higher and higher dimensions. And it happens through your focus, your will, your willingness to open, your willingness to release fear-based beliefs, beliefs in your own limitation, beliefs in I am not capable, because we say to you that each and every one of you is capable of having the same contact with us and with other beings that the channel has. Each and every one of you is capable of meeting your guides and using your intuition to have creative and fun ways to expand your reality and to bring about a more collective ascension on this earth plane. And here we have shared many tools, and in other transmissions there are more. So continue to be open, continue to follow your passion, let your heart guide you, and let your mind be open, and allow yourself to feel deeply everything that moves through you. Allow yourself to question what is truly the most important. Your heart knows. What is the most important thing for you to experience? What is the most important energy for you to remember? In finding your own unique access point to that love, through your own experience on this plane, you can expand the amount of love, the level of love that flows into your reality in very profound ways. So know that you are capable and you are needed for this ascension to happen. Otherwise you would not be here. And it does not matter how small or great you interpret your role to be. You are all at your essence love, at your essence source. So continue to remember that and continue to inspire that remembrance in others, as it is that remembrance of source within you that is bringing about this great and powerful transformation. And we are very happy to be with you in this whole process, watching you evolve and supporting you evolve. And know that we and many others are your allies whenever you call upon us and whenever you make yourselves available. We love you very much, and we thank you again for receiving this transmission. and we hope it sits well with you and inspires a great transformation for all. Hope you loved that one. I just love doing this. So, more videos, Dante Starshine. My website is blissbeings.com. I do private one-to-one sessions there, and so much more. Much love and blessings to you on this day.